Whatever.
Canada.
Canada, meet the bomb.
Oh, that's funny.
Meet the bomb. Oh, so that, did I just embarrass her?
I don't know. I think she got some calls from back there. Normally they're honored. Just go ahead and take it. Don't even say
Okay, I
anything.
feel good.
No, don't feel badly.
But I don't think she realized that she was representing Canada.
Yeah, we'll have. If we see her again, she's going up there. If we see her again, I'll tell her.
Okay. Yeah.
So these are purchased containers for. Until we got the steel, this is how they roof. This is how they provide shade, right?
Yeah.
Bom dia. Bom dia.
Dia.
So we bought these
Bom dia.
containers cheap in Angola, and they serve us well for storage.
Yeah.
So this is how the patients will come up here. These guys are all probably just waiting to get a consult today. So they come up here and
Bom dia. Bom dia.
So the no, you're good. This is the arrival. In old days, before there were roads, this was the front. But patients arrive here, and we have registro, our registration here, and they sign in. I'll show you the charts that we use. The charts that we use all go with the patients. No charts stay in the hospital. This is a list of our prices. This is a list of our prices that is posted. So 2,000 kwanzas for a consultation. We have different prices at different times. Weekends they pay more. And then there's a price for virtually everything that we do. But they get here, they get their chart, and then they get basic vital signs. And then they come in here and wait. They'll wait here to get there, and then they'll come in here and wait for their consultation. So we have three, because there's three of us doing consultations, we have 3 consultation rooms. This is one. Very simple. Just simple consultation room. This is where Laurel's working right now.
Hi.
And basic. And next door is another consultation room. This is where I'm working at the moment. So, another basic consultation room. Our main diagnostic equipment is a portable X-ray machine. Costs $80,000, and it's worth every cent. And it's about 5 years old.
Ultrasound.
Every kid gets a sucker, so it's one of our rules that we keep well stocked, and for many of them, it's their first time. Yeah, so it used to contact us at the house, and it used to work. It doesn't work anymore. That's an old CB radio that used to work, and we don't have electricity like to plug in, but we have basic solar lighting, 12-volt lighting, connected to a couple of solar panels and these batteries, so that we have a little bit of light at home. When I first came here, we used candles. Wow. And then we started using flashlights and headlights, and then finally we got something a little bit like that. Wow. Quite remarkable when I first came. Delivered a couple babies by candlelight when I first came.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
This is another consult room. We have posters like this for every room. When we move to the new building, every room will have these, and they are fantastic for explaining to the patient, this is what's going on, this is the nerve, this is the abdomen, this is whatever. They've never seen anything like this before. So for them it adds, it validates, right?
Well, yeah.
This is not
This
something
is
we're
what's
just
going
making
on
up.
in your body.
Because we're essentially competing against the shamans, and so we want to say, look, this is legitimate, this is real, this is research, this is known the world over. So when we move over to the other building, all the rooms will be like this, and there's huge benefit. This is where Florine is now going to, this is where he does his consult. He's got a year of training during the war, and then he shadowed me for about 8 years, and then I set him free to do consults, and he's doing fantastic. He's doing a wonderful job.
A nerve license first?
No license, but he's
Yeah.
He would be called a nurse,
Yeah.
but no license. But he would probably be more qualified to treat a patient than most physicians in Angola because of learning
Wow.
for apprenticing for 8 years. Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is just our maternity. The only thing that distinguishes it is it has a tub and it has a delivery table.
Yeah.
We don't do many normal deliveries. All of our deliveries are catastrophes. So almost all deliveries are at home, and when there's a catastrophe, something goes wrong, they come here, and that's
So it's crisis
maybe
mode.
4, yeah, hemorrhaging or labor 3 days, and what's wrong, and we do probably about 5 or 6 a month, not many. At home.
Yeah.
This is our emergency room. This is really our full utility room. This is
There's somebody in there.
Pedro and Jose, 2 of our workers. And so it's really an emergency room like the old days. It's truly a room. And we have a bed and we have supplies that can treat more emergencies. But other than that, it's just a room. No beeping machines or anything fancy. Our emergency room. This is our basic pharmacy.
Yeah.
And really, this is our administrator of all the hospitals. She is our chief, chefi, nossa chefi, and she is an absolute gem. And she is in charge and does very well. She's been doing that for about 6 months, and it was a great change that I made about 6 months ago to put her in charge. Things are getting done. Estou a falar que muitas coisas desde mas chefe muitas coisas estão a correr muito bem. And so basic pharmacy, we have a pretty decent selection. Most everything, because over the years we've just learned most everything that we need to treat, we can now. When I first came, it has grown. And so we've got a pharmacy warehouse room where all the boxes of medicines are, and then we take a few of each and keep them in here, right? So just because we don't have much space. They deliver their pharmacy stuff through the window. So the patient comes up to the window after a cop and gets their medicine. Okay, muito obrigado. So, this is our kitchen at the moment, and we hope at some point in the future to actually have a kitchen that's walled in. But this is our kitchen where things are. If someone needs to cook something, they all cook around their fires. But if someone specifically wants to cook something, they can bring it here and get a pan and that sort of thing. This was made by one of the math guys. Isn't this great? We took a discarded barrel, and you've probably seen something like that before.
Mm-hmm.
And we've used it several times. When
Those
we've had,
guys are amazing.
all those
They're
guys
like
are,
MacGyvers.
they are.
Yeah.
Truly. All of these are the grass mats they normally sleep on. We just require that all of our mattresses we put on one, so to protect the mattresses from the ground. And so we buy them. A local guy makes them. Here's your, I hesitate to show it to you, Ken, but it's our original generator.
Yeah. Ken will get it going.
It's
These-
broken?
Yeah.
Yeah. These are called Zambulances, and there's a 94-year-old guy who got this going through another guy in Los Angeles. He hired a bunch of homeless guys to make a cot on wheels that can be pulled by a motorcycle. And we delivered like 10 of them to villages around, and we probably have 4 or 5 times a year someone arrives because they can't sit. Most people come on a motorbike that can sit. Some of them just can't sit, so they put them in the cot and they
It's
bring
like
them.
a trailer.
Yes,
No
trailer.
sidecar.
Trailer for a motorcycle, and
Trailer
you
for
put
a
a mat
motorcycle.
down or something, and,
Yes, there's normally a cushion there.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that cool? I mean, great idea. Designed in Zambia, made in Los Angeles, and I'll bet we've got 15 of them distributed to different roads. 10 that I know of.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a hard
Bom
day.
dia. Como está? This is our lady from last night. But you guys can come in. Tenemos visitas, desculpa.
You know what?
¿Cómo está respirar? ¿Es difícil? Okay. Vamos a hacer revisión. So this is our ICU, and no beeping machines, but it's a place isolated where we can connect the oxygen machine to a generator. The generator is right out back. So we've got a little kit on oxygen there, but it's a portable, so they're probably carrying it. And then this oxygen machine. And she's the girl, we came last night and took some fluid off of her, and she's
doing better?
yeah, she doesn't look like she's doing great, so we'll have to reevaluate her today. She had her chest was full of liquid. And this is another ICU room. It's a single room. There's a lady in here that had a gas can blow up and severe burns. I don't know if she did. No, but it's just a single. You can look at. It's just a single room.
Yep.
Basic. But it's an these three would be considered, along with
Isolation.
maternity, they would be our most critical people. So we know and they know that our critical people are here. In the other room, you'll all be really close. We actually have an ICU.
Oh, yeah.
So we will, we made all these pavers. We have a guy making pavers every day. And we're going to have a sidewalk like this connecting all the buildings. Because in the rainy season, it's just a muddy mess. And this is our first, and they did a great job.
I'll say. Wow.
And this one is connecting the TB buildings, which we'll go down and see, to the hospital. And the TB patients are isolated for obvious reasons.
And Tim, do we have anything of us being on TV people? We're okay?
No, you're okay. Okay. And I'll show you before we leave. I'll finish. We'll have to go this way, and then we'll come back. This is Madalena. Madalena is one of our outstanding cleaning people, and she is on the go all the time. You say Venancio. Venancio works in the pharmacy, and he's essentially our main pharmacist and does a fantastic job. Estou falar muitas coisas boas sobre vocês. Tem que me acreditar now, porque nobody. I said I'm saying many good things about you, but you gotta believe me because you can't understand. This is our. It's not much, but this is our immunization. We do about 300 or so immunizations per week, and it's got a gas fridge. That's really the only thing that sets it apart. And we can keep everything cool. And we have a solar fridge over there as a backup. So vaccines and insulin and rabies vaccines. So vaccines and insulin are what we need to keep cold. We have the gas fridge here. We have the solar fridge there. It's kind of like one of those fridges you see in cars that you can cigarette lighter it, and it works for us great. Improvise is the name of the game.
Would you have done any COVID vaccinations?
The government came and did them just about a couple weeks ago for the first time. Are
you serious?
So they're just getting on board. But everybody here got vaccinated about maybe 2 weeks now. So they did it. They were just way behind the eight ball. So this is our this is just it was our office, but right now we bought them a couple of these little gas stoves. And so the workers, this is where the workers can prepare their own meals, or a lot of times these girls will prepare workers' meals. Yeah, and we're gonna design, when we get all this done, we're gonna have a kitchen, and we're gonna feed all the workers and make a decision on who else to feed. But it's gonna be real simple. But these guys eat simply, so it's not hard. If we can just heat up some water, that's really all we need to do.
Yes.
Wow.
So we bought a bunch of pans and a bunch of utensils and.
So it's the break room.
These are our mattresses.
Smoke them if you got them.
We buy mattresses in the city, and we take them to a guy who covers car seats.
Yeah.
And we have them cover our mattresses, and they last a good couple of years. They cost about $50 a mattress and about $50 to cover them.
Then you can wash them and it disinfect them.
Exactly, and we make sure that they all put them on those to kind of protect them. That's why we have those. Our pharmacy warehouse. So this is where all the meds are. MAF, so beautifully, every single week, MAF delivers meds. I can email pharmacy warehouse in Lubango, make an order. MAF picks them up. MAF brings them on the plane, and they come in here. It's just a beautiful, beautiful cooperation that they provide. This is a cantina. So you can come in. This is just we keep this and we sell this at cost for people who arrive with no food. Basic
Yeah,
stuff. Just to get by until their family arrives with food or sustenance. And this guy out here, who's just hired on, I don't know what his name is running the cantina. Nosso chefe de cantina.
Muito bom.
This will be our next place that we'll put the pavers. This will be another place that the TV people can come up to the hospital without getting all muddy.
These showers or?
So in here, one of them I think has a bathtub, and they're running toilets. They call them scientific toilets because they flush. They're not used by many, but
Will they use it just the bush?
somebody, I think,
Will they use the bush?
yes, that's what they're accustomed to.
Do they bury the food?
They're supposed to, and I think some of them.
Because they use how everywhere.
Yeah, they all get up early before the sun and go do their stuff. And come back. So they all go to isolated areas. Except that we do have problems with poop in the building.
Yeah. But that water is going in. It's supposed to be going?
I think the cleaning lady. So the cleaning lady used that tub for washing doing their laundry. We're gonna have a laundry room in our new building, but right now they might just do that. But right now the laundry room will still be by hand because washing machines that size are so expensive.
Yeah.
So a lot of the patients are gone. This is our inpatient ward, our original inpatient ward, and pretty basic. They have the grass mat underneath the mattresses. That's good.
Yeah.
And they sleep either on the floor or in the beds. This is pretty much the maximum amount of beds we can put in here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, where are they right now? Just getting fresh air?
Usually sitting out by a fire.
Okay.
Anytime they can get out, they will.
And what kind of illnesses do these?
It's a good question. Quite the variety. And many of them, if they can walk, like the way they live, nobody ever lives in their house. They all live outside.
Yeah.
Even if they're laying outside, they live outside. And the same thing happens here. So as soon as they can get out,
they
if they
sleep at
possibly
night.
can, they get out.
Yeah.
And the other side is just a carbon copies.
And do you have a nurse stay here with them?
A nurse stays, not here in particular, but a nurse is here 24 hours. Yeah. And
So,
they
but
know.
they get up on their own leisure and go?
Yes.
Okay.
If they
They
can.
don't need to be monitored, some of them.
Yeah, we just don't have it. So the more serious ones, we take their vital signs a couple times a day, but we really depend, and we tell the patient, we really depend on you, the family, to let us know if you're getting worse.
Yeah,
If you have
yeah,
any
yeah.
issues, you come to us. We really have to operate on that. We
So you don't have people to watch?
Yeah, we can't come over and see. And so we have remodeled this many times since we've been here, and it serves us very well. It's just really limited. This is all we had until you'll see the next inpatient ward. And this will all be, this and the building you just went through will all be TB hospital once we get the rest.
Because you get so many TB.
So many TB. Yeah, right now I think we have 60.
Now, when you immunize, you get the TB.
We do, but the TB vaccine is only really effective for infants and getting severe illness. It really doesn't do much.
Now with Tim, so when you talk about TV, is the family, they high away
They don't know that. One of the talks that I give frequently is transmission of disease, transmission of TB, cover your mouth when you cough. They don't know that. So I mean, basic stuff. The transmission of TB is almost goes through family members because they sleep in the same place.
Oh yeah.
Everything else is so well ventilated that it's hard to pick up TB from a casual acquaintance. Just like coronavirus was never really a big deal here because everybody lives outside. Even when you're inside, they're kind of outside by our ventilation standards. So we have to teach them. You guys can't sleep in the same room before the TV and that sort of thing. That's not something they know. Disease transmission is unknown to them. So we can head down here. Here's our generator house. That's our Angolan Korean.
So Ken, would that be one of those ones that does not have high altitude?
And
So
no,
combustible.
and dirty fuel. Potentially dirty
More
fuel.
than likely. More than likely.
Okay.
Gas. That's gasoline.
Yeah.
They said it's working well. They've done a great job. I think I mentioned this. They do a great job at now of changing the oil. We've ruined a couple generators from that. Yeah. This is where everything goes. So in the States you have sharps containers.
Yeah.
No such thing here. So we put everything in the trash. The trash emptiers, the cleaners are instructed to never touch anything. It comes, it gets dumped in there, and it gets burned.
Needles and all?
Needles and all. And so we had problems with kids looking shiny things like packages of medicine or whatever. And so we made this great and simple solution, but the whole serves us well, and we don't, it's very basic, but it as far as we know, we haven't had anybody. A missionary family that lived here in the 70s lost a 2-year-old by going into the trash pit and picking up a discarded medication. 2-year-old, can you imagine? So we're always aware that we have to be real careful with how we discard our stuff.
Now, even the shit like your needles, do they burn away or?
They burn, or
Disintegrate?
they just kind of get under
Under the ash.
and becomes unattractive anyway.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting story. So when I first came to Angola, I visited many communities, and we did clinics in many communities within a day's drive of here. And I would always sit down with the administrators, like the mayors, and say, if you had money from the outside, what would be your first priority? What would be the first thing you would build? Or what would be the first thing you would do for your community? Without exception, every single one said we would build a morgue. Surprised me, like, what? That's your priority? And they said to have a place to put a body that's cool, to give the family 1 or 2 days, because all bodies have to go in the ground within 24 hours, right? Because of no embalming and that sort of thing. They said to give a family a day or two to gather for a funeral would be such a blessing, without exception. That was like probably a dozen administrators answered the same way. So when we came here, we built this, and then
That one over there?
the one down here. So it's constructed in a way that it stays cool. It's ventilated, and then we actually have a morgue fridge that we bought that a guy from from Canada heard about our need, and he bought it and put it in the container, and we haven't assembled it yet. But we will have a refrigerator that we can put a body in and probably keep it for 3 or 4 days. And so it's just already, every time we have a death and it goes in there and the family and they say you can pick it up in today or tomorrow or the next day, and they realize that they can wait a day or two, they are just delighted in the middle of their tragedy, But so it's really interesting. Nothing I would have ever predicted. Never would have expected. Nope. So this is our TB ward. None of this was here. None of this was here when we came, so we built these 3 buildings, and very simply built. Out of adobe, out of those clay blocks that you saw being made. Bon dia.
Bom dias.
So all of our TB patients come for 2 months. Their first 2 months have to be here, and so they take their medicine for 2 months. They all improve.
Okay. No?
Yeah, you can walk out. It's done.
Okay.
Muito bom. Vocês estão fazendo trabalho excelente. Excelente. So these look like they're all closed. Alguém está?
Sim.
Yeah. Tá? So depois, irmãos, uma coisa importante.
Ellen, I hope you have a lot. Look at this little man. Woo.
The lottery women.
Yeah. I think there's an iPad in there. All done now? Did everyone get something?
Yep, everyone got something. We got cars.
It's good that he did that here and not up on top. He had 100 gathered.
I know you're gonna be like,
I got lots.
we won't see her again.
These are like they're like 10 by 10, very small, but they hold 2 beds. So we have 6, 12, 18 with 2 beds. We have 36 beds for TB patients, and we have like 60-some TB patients.
And are they inside right now?
Probably not. Probably like up there, they never are inside.
But then they're spreading their.
Not being outside, we don't worry about it.
Okay.
And a lot of them stay. A lot of them stay down here. You can see they live down here pretty simply.
Oh, no, no.
We made our
Sorry.
sidewalks like that so that about 3 months ago we could hire 2 guys instead of like all at once build a bunch of sidewalks, which just takes weight. They mix their cement by hand and all that. We hired 2 guys about maybe 6 or 8 months ago now, and told them and bought a bunch of plastic forms for him and said, build as many as you can every day. So he's got about 1,500 built so far. And we're just the goal is over the next several years, we'll have these sidewalks everywhere. But the pavers look like they're gonna work. It was just an idea to
Cement?
cement pavers, yeah.
That's great.
Just little plastic, what do you call them?
Forms, molds.
Kind of forms,
Yeah.
that's not what they're for, but they're almost like a bowl, a square bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got his car going.
That's awesome.
Where's he get it? He got his-
On the
Oh.
sidewalk.
How?
These things are called jangus. This thing up here and these down here, they're called jangus, and they're culturally relevant. And so that's where they cook. And in the rainy season, a lot of families sleep under there. And all we have to do is renovate the roof yearly, put some more grass on. But
And that keeps rain out.
keeps rain out.
Wow.
It doesn't keep it out in the degree that we like it out, but
Okay.
it keeps them mostly dry.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's the best way to put it. So the view, this is one of the best views in.
I was just gonna say, this is like, wow,
isn't
we
that
got a
crazy?
vista here.
Oh, it's so beautiful. We have, I don't know if we can see it from over here.
And what direction is that? Oh wait, the
That is south.
What is this thing?
Oh,
Yeah, good question.
Helen, here, hold it, sweetie.
Photo op from up on top. If it's
Oh,
on the
it's in
ground,
the
it must
shade.
not be edible.
No. This is the last time we saw Helen. Wait, Helen, let me take a picture. Ready, 1.
No es posible comer, ¿ah?
¿Cómo se?
Não, isso é do chão, pago. Sai no
What
chão.
is it?
He's saying it's a poisonous thing. You don't
Yeah.
want to touch it.
Oh.
É uma
Yeah,
semente.
he said it came out of the ground.
Out of the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
É. Mascare aí, dá para comer.
You can eat it?
No. No.
Fruit?
You first.
Is it a fruit or a vegetable? Or what?
É possível comer?
Sim, é possível.
Oh, they said you can't eat it.
So is it like a squat? Like a.
Tem que cozinhar?
Não, cascare mesmo. Cozinhar não, cascare só ali.
He said you could just,
Dentro é comer.
yeah, you can just peel it and eat it.
Sweet? Sweet?
Tem a doce? Ou
É
não?
doce, é doce.
Yep, they said it's sweet.
Like a fruit? Yeah.
Now, Helen, now you're interested. Stick that back in your back. Helen will be slumped over. Oh, and it also makes you quite drowsy.
So this is all within the fence, and those are lemon trees that were planted about 30 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And
Lemon.
surviving. And we're gonna make, when Dick Pope was here, we talked about making this about a 6 or 8 acre orchard and we're going to plant we want to plant about 1,000 fruit trees.
Yes.
That'll be a great way to serve the patients as well as
Yes.
sell as well. But it'll help the whole region.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool thing that happened this past week. They went through a big starvation crisis. You remember hearing about it?
Yeah, for seed.
And we bought we bought them seed. We bought them the already ground corn.
Yes.
And we bought them. We spent about $15,000 and bought enough to feed 150 people for 6 months.
Wow.
Because they didn't have anything.
Wow.
And so we asked them when we gave it to them. We don't our philosophy is we don't do anything for free. And so we said we would like to make an exchange your Saturdays for the next several months for this food, and they have responded wonderfully. So every Saturday, we'll see about this Saturday. Every Saturday, the community, and I mean almost the whole community, shows up here, and they say, "What do you want us to do?" And so when they first started, they planted this whole field around those trees with soy, because we had told them Eduardo was here and I wasn't here. Soy is good protein. They planted it, harvested it, and now we have soy to distribute to the patients that are protein malnourished. And they've done a whole bunch of stuff. They clean up. They use their hose, and they're making some of these sidewalks. You see, they've already cleaned those up, and they've responded wonderfully.
Yeah.
So
But there's lots of garbage. Little things.
there's nowhere to put trash. You go in.
I wonder what you did with it all.
Yeah.
Well,
We have
burn
to
it.
have somebody
Yeah, I
that-
guess just burn it if you
just burn
can.
it. Or holes. Like that hole was dug. To tell them, since we don't have trash cans, we're gonna.
And you can
at
see
some
the
point
pipe.
We're gonna
That hole
invest.
over there
You
with the
just,
pylons
it's
around
how you spend your money, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
so what we've done is we hired some guys to dig holes, and they're instructed to put their trash in the hole, and then we burn it every now and then. But right now that it hasn't worked.
Now they're gonna
Yeah.
think I'm putting on lipstick.
Well, it actually has worked. It's better than it was, but
Yeah.
there's still a lot of trash. Everywhere you go in Angola, it's pretty much like that. There's no trash belongs on the ground.
Yep. Yep.
Need to adopt the highway, right? Adopt the highway for the trash.
Yeah, get the Boy Scouts down here.
Ok, obrigado. Temos visitas que estão a ver todo o hospital.
Sim, sim. Muito obrigado.
How you doing?
Sim, sim.
We've put up latrines all over the campus for people to use, and we don't know if they get used. The nurses are always complaining that they don't get used enough. But, so we probably find a room here.
Hey, is that corn over there, Tim? Sorry.
Yes. So there's their corn. They've taken it off the cob and they're putting it out to dry. And when it's dry, they'll ground it into powder.
Yeah. What are those round things on there?
For carrying, just for carrying stuff. A handmade basket kind of. You see, the women have gathered a lot of wood and done a lot of work for the fires. Men never.
And is this a grinding thing? Is that just ground down over time?
Yes. So yes, they'll grind their corn
Right
in that
here.
stone.
Oh. And that's just ground up. Yeah, of course.
With a stick there?
You might have to come from another angle.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. It's easy.
Alguém está?
And with this, yeah.
Isso é pra pisar com ele assim.
Só para ver uma
Yeah. Corn? Yeah. Como se dice português? Rolão. Larão? Mas.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Alorão?
só para ver. You can take a picture just to see the simple ones, all 30s, all 60. These would be 2 TB patients.
Okay.
And so, is somebody in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I thought it was empty.
Sorry.
Ela tem doente dentro? Oh, okay. Huh? Ah, tá, okay. Yeah, she's every one of these has a story. She's a horribly sad story of strep throat that went untreated, destroyed the valves in her heart. She has rheumatic heart disease, and she's been with us for like 3 months, and she's on the absolute maximum of medicine, and she's still got feet that are swollen like that, and I don't know if she'll survive, but still hoping she'll turn around, but she's also got TB, and so you can poke your head in and just see that it's just a very simple room, 2 beds maximum. I don't think they have 2 beds in here. So And most of the people, I think, for the most part, sleep outside, except the very sick. Like she's not walking much, so sitting out in the sun. The girl next to her was one of our visited shamans with a minor illness. She hadn't gotten pregnant for 6 months, and she's like 18. And so she went to a shaman to help her get pregnant. And the shaman gave her a plant that destroyed her liver, and she's now with us, and she probably won't survive. But we're doing what we can to see if her liver responds. And she is, I don't think she's being treated for TB. She must be visiting a friend. So everyone has a sad story, all 120 of them. Wow. And so that's essentially what all 3 buildings have, rooms that look identical to this. Very simple, 2 beds. They only sleep in there. They do everything else outside, which is culturally appropriate.
Is it okay if I go in?
Yes. Basic, simple. We need to ventilate them better.
Yeah.
There's somebody
When it
in there?
rains, the
No,
whole
no
thing
one's there.
squeezes in and gets on the floor, no matter how we instruct otherwise. So we can head up this way.
Team, I think.
Okay, obrigado.
Oh my god.
So that's essentially what you've just seen is kind of the hospital as it was up till about a couple years ago. And this was all created over the years, but for the most part, then we started the building because it took me about 6 years to be convinced that the volume would support construction, spending money.
Because you're getting everything, which is awesome. I'm just getting little snippets.
Yeah.
Hey, Helen, you can get your hair done.
Yeah. It's been really cool seeing their response to these sidewalks. They just think they're the coolest thing going. Nobody here would have ever walked on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Ever. And so they just think they will. And I didn't know that when we put them in. But they have embraced it. So much so that one of the guys was walking over and said, it's too pretty, they don't walk on it. They're walking on the side. So they'll get used to it over time. Plus they don't even know that this is the walk, right?
Yeah.
It looks too pretty.
Well, when the rain comes, you'll know.
Yes. Which is really the perfect thing. There we go. There's our hum. Generator humming.
When did they start doing the walks? When did you start doing this?
We started about making the pavers about 6 months ago. They just started putting that in last week.
Look at that bamboo. I think that's bamboo. Is that bamboo or sugar cane?
Looks like bamboo.
This is our construction in the last 6 months, all done by local guys. So we will actually have 4 bathrooms, 4 scientific toilets that will flush. This, Shaman's table. This is actually going to be a room for our sleeping nurse at night. They actually have a place which they're very honored to have a place to down. They just throw something on the floor. This is going to be, instead of that little room you saw for registration, this will be registration. And they'll come in and then they're registered, then they'll get vital signs, and then they'll go out. So we're gonna have a little bit better flow.
Okay.
This will be registration. So they'll have a desk here and a desk here. Isn't that cool? AGA, you guys send on from the US. They don't have those here. So this will be a waiting area to get registered, and then after they're registered, they'll come in here. And this will be a waiting area along this outside, depending on if it's raining.
Yeah.
It'll be a place for people to wait until they get their consultations.
Yeah.
This will be, it's all made out of this block. This will be a waiting area.
Wow.
This will be a green space that we'll hopefully put a couple little trees and some flowers.
Yep.
You never see that in Angola. So
No,
it'd be
no,
really
no.
cool if we're able to do it. This is where our prized luggage is going to go.
This is going to be the X-ray?
This will be X-ray, yeah. In fact, they already got it here. So this will be the X-ray room. Hey, Mama. That's your box. Yeah.
Did that come? How did that
That
come?
came with Ken. Ken sent it out a container. Hasn't been used yet, I don't think. I think waiting the next generator.
These are solar panels. Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
solar panels. These will be what go up outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's your job.
Your stuff is assorted in several different rooms, so there's been stuff taken out of it, I'm sure. So this will be the X-ray room. We haven't figured out how to design it. We need to put up a place where the person can
And
get
you'll put
behind.
those things around, those panels you said?
Yes, the panels will be on the back of where we shoot. This will be our laboratory, which we've never had before.
Okay, so you can do testing on samples and stuff.
Yeah,
Laboratory.
and we designed all our windows so that. Okay. Oh, Sin problema, otro lugar. We designed all our windows to open up, so because in Angola normally they open like this, but then they're always in the room in the way, and these are going to work out pretty well. I think you can suspend
They're
them.
in the way, out here.
No, so they open like this. They all open like this, so
Yeah.
then they're in the way of the room,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so we open them like this because most of the time the windows are open here.
Yeah.
But this will be a lab, a basic lab. With electricity and a little fridge. These three next rooms are all identical, and these will be the consultation rooms, and they're huge. Which
Nice
will be,
big.
oh, they're going to be so nice.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
So these guys did all this with the windows. They made all the windows. They designed them to be hung. They just did a wonderful job.
Oh, this is huge.
Isn't that though? So they'll just have a bed and a desk, and I'll show you the desks that they made beautifully. Já, final. This is the final coat of paint. Parece muito bom.
Good job. Is that with the
Manuel.
With
This
the
is
bomb?
Manuel. Manuel is our chief of construction.
Hey.
And
Manuel.
Ele fala um pouco inglês. He speaks a little bit of English.
Ah.
And he did all of our ceilings. Did a really nice job.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
English. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Bomb.
muito bom mesmo.
What the bomb? Is that? Am I saying that?
Very good. Very good, muito bom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Which will be really cool. Same thing again.
Yeah. Great.
And then these will be finished.
That is
This
hard.
would be our lavanderia, our washing area. So this is gonna be a big sink with the hope that one day we're gonna have a big washing machine. But right now it'll be a big sink with like a washboard thing. And they'll do all the laundry here. It'll have a storage area for clean laundry and a storage area for dirty. And they just love the fact that the women who do I think it's mostly women right now who do the laundry are so honored that a place was made for them. It's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Because they're usually
Not just go to the
discarded.
river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it made a storage room for linen and blankets.
And what's this they're building back here, these guys?
This is gonna be where the solar panels go.
Solar panel, yeah,
Oh,
the-
that's right, okay.
They're gonna be angled like this.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you showed that.
This is our generator house.
Generator house.
Ken's name on it.
That's a big one.
These are the wires we got.
Uh-huh.
We've got wires for batteries as well as wires to connect to the panel. Hopefully we have enough. And
Thank you.
and we've had its own house now for several months.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keeping it out of the
It was covered before that. So these, I think, are some of the stuff, these might be some things that came with you as well, or came from you. Which it might be in that box, we'll have to open it.
Will that run your whole everything?
It will be.
Okay, is that a diesel?
Yeah, that's a diesel. It's
And the generator charge batteries.
yearly new Army
The
generator.
batteries are charged, we actually will run our hospital off the batteries. And then when the batteries run low, if there's not enough sun, then we charge the battery, turn on the generator to charge the batteries more. So we can charge, we have 2 ways to charge.
Oh, good.
Parece bom, irmão? Pronto para fazer os próximos?
Sim.
Yeah. Yes. Aham. Ok, já podemos, já medimos?
Ainda. Temos que doutor.
Ok. Vamos. Tem aquela.
Aqui lá, um pouco.
Mas vou continuar a voltar. Nós vamos fazer. Yeah, I'll come back and do this. We just have to make sure it's lined up as best we can with facing true north. So it's not quite lined up. I'll come back later and line it up unless maybe we can work. You can work with them.
You said those.
Yeah.
Which way's north?
There.
Idea is there's 4 posts, right?
4 posts, and then the metal, something like that, will go between the posts and this way to support, and then the panels will lay on the posts or be connected to the post. So I didn't want to do it right now, but it looks like this is off just a bit, which I think is okay because you can always see them. Yeah. But best I can tell, we are. Calibrating. Calibrate. Sometimes when I get it too close,
Hi. Have a gutter.
this was the steak was put in the other day by the
Smile.
Smile, bom dia.
Hello.
Met this pretty girl in Angola. We are going to be wed.
fix put yours this way. See? Yeah. Yours might be right, and we just have to adjust this. That would mean that would go quite a bit to your right, right? That straight?
Yeah.
Maybe we should get a string.
Yeah, we can use this. As a straight edge. So this will just be a storage room, deposit. They call it deposit cube. There'll be shelves on both sides, and it'll just be a place to store blankets, linens, equipment, instruments. Ah, bom dia, irmão. Bom dia. Parece muito bom. So this one day will be our operating room. Oh, wow. And it's got its own storage space for operating room utensils that will remain sterile, and there'll be a sterilizer there for instruments. And so we don't need much, and this will serve us very well. It'll be a great space for the sink here. Okay. And all the rooms have a sink, which is a big change. All the rooms have power.
Good.
Careful of some. You gotta make a good impression. Just walk right through that.
Uh huh. There you go.
They will forever remember Skull. Man from Delaware.
There-
I don't know.
I see a
What's
footprint.
that one?
I think you can step on it.
Huh? I don't want to be the guy that.
Looks like someone else. Other people have stepped on it.
Leave a permanent impression.
Yeah. Can we all put our names in the concrete?
Yeah. Handprint. So this will be our ICU. It's going to have 4 beds, no beeping instruments, but it will have power, will have lights. Beautiful isolated place for our most critical patients. And
When these ones become, what's
that's
happening?
all going to be TV. And they'll be redesigned. We put in big windows, trying to use as much natural light as possible. They will all be screened. And you'll see in the next building, we use rebar to make it make a little bit of a design for security. We still have to think about screen doors. That's
Screen doors.
In a submarine?
Is that a windshield? It's like a windshield?
So this is going to be our emergency room. And these are the guys who put these together with steel. Are these beautiful or what? These will last 100 years. So one of these will go in each consult room, 2 in that room, 2 in this room, and there'll be workstations.
Yeah.
And they just did a great job. You can't do anything with wood here because of termites. So we have some wood in our house. Teak is relatively termite resistant. Anything else, you just have to, it has to be where you live because you have to keep your eye on it. Termites enter the house all the time and you just gotta kill them. So this is gonna be a great emergency room, dedicated 4 beds. It's gonna actually have a place for people to drive up someday if they wanna, if someone comes in a car.
When the road's paved.
Yeah, when the road's paved.
I bet you'll, yeah.
So that's the transitional hospital. And we won't use
Transitional
any
hospital.
of this for what I just described when this one's done, because this has all the same stuff. Then this will be modified, and it'll probably serve as beds, because we always use beds and roofs over beds.
Keep growing, and that's great.
And this one, a couple of these rooms was designed with a kitchen in mind. So this is one of the areas that will have a kitchen and maybe a little cafeteria, and maybe put tables outside for people to eat.
Yeah.
So long-term thinking. I'm truly completely blown away by how that came out. That
Yeah,
was all
it's amazing.
thought up and designed with, who knows, because all local guys going to do it, right? We gave him the plans, we said put it together, and look at what they did. Oh, it is just so beyond my expectations.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time. So this is going to be the porch, and this is where we now hold our morning meetings. And it serves really, all the benches came from the States. And it's funny, the benches are like one of our most coveted items. People from other villages come, oh, they love these things because they're so sturdy and permanent, quote unquote, right? But they are made of wood, and a lot of them have been eaten by termites. But they are, boy, they serve us well. And this was all, it goes together like Legos. It's incredibly well designed by Paul Huckersmith, who's in Colorado, a construction guy. And it is just so well done. It came in a container. They took it out and it all fit together. So it's really like Lego. Is it marked? This was more. It's marked, and the guys had a whole product list or whatever. And they knew they took it out and they separated it out before it went up. All of the same type were here. And Kevin, who communicated with you guys, had done that building. So he knew how it went together. And Scott, who's from Missouri, also did that building. So between those two guys, this thing went up with, I think, four Americans and about 15 Angolans that could communicate with each other. And this went up in like 10 days. 10
So
weeks.
how would they get these heavy beams up high?
The ladders and the skid steer, they lifted it up and someone was on it and they lifted them up. Or they lifted beams up. It was quite tricky.
I'll bet it was.
They stacked a bunch of benches and they made a scaffolding out of these benches. They were quite clever. This is going to serve us. So this is the entrance, obviously, and then anybody need a hand? Let me know. But this will be, the front entrance will be here.
Helen?
We don't know exactly where yet, but it's all designed out. And there'll be essentially a hallway going down the middle, and a hallway down the middle, and then there'll be rooms all over the place. There'll be an ER, there'll be an ICU, there'll be everything that you've kind of gone through, but it'll all be in one building. Lab, X-ray, it'll all be here eventually. I don't anticipate this being done for at least 2 years. And so that will serve us really well for 2 years.
When will this be done? 6 months?
July.
In a month.
Next
Yep,
month.
Opening it, we have a mid-July target date.
Walls?
No, over there. That's July.
This is a couple years.
Yeah, 2 years.
This is going to be
optimistic.
wired, plumbed. Every room has a sink. It's going to be a nice place. It'll still be simple. It'll still look a lot like that, with kind of Angolan windows and sort of thing. But we kind of danced on that line between, we don't want to make something shiny that looks from the States. We want them to be comfortable in their building, and yet we want it to be nice. And so that's how we did the dance for those, and we'll do the dance for this too. Trying to be sensitive and yet want to improve the care, you know? Yes, exactly. We cement floor.
Did they make all this with the hand mixers stuff?
No,
or-
this was as deep as the walls. So they put in the foundation along the perimeter, and then all this was brought in by wheelbarrows, and
Wait, how deep, Phil? So that
as deep as the walls. All the walls, a meter, almost the whole way. Brought it all in by wheelbarrows. from
Wow.
around dirt and rocks. It took about 2-3 months. to
Man.
fill it.
And they just like tamped it in like
They tamped it in, and then they just covered with a thin layer of cement because they were worried about plants growing, which I thought was really smart.
yeah.
And these are a meter deep, filled with rocks and cement for the pillars.
Yeah.
We knew where the pillars.
So you're gonna skim over this with another coat of cement?
Yeah. So it'll be a nice cement floor.
Uh-huh.
So this is our last building. So our goal, our plan when we started was there'll be a main hospital building, and then there'll be 1, 2, 4 buildings identical to the one you're just going to go in, and they would be inpatients. So there'd be women's, men's, kids, and then the last one, overflow. So this one right now is designed for 22 beds, I think, and you'll see how many people are in it. The water is going to come. This water is plumbed from the spring, directly from the spring, bypassing the village, and so we will get our water as a pump, like in our house. It'll be a demand pump. It'll gravity go into the tank, and then it'll be demand pumped into the buildings.
It's got stuff growing in there.
No, that one will be destroyed. It's the square one.
Okay.
The square one's covered and ready to go. The pump is on the outside.
So that's the source of all the water here in this whole area. Okay.
It's not operating.
Not now. Where's the actual source now?
That tank right there.
Okay.
So this is a building that's worth going. This building is worth going through because this is kind of.
Is this where Laurel is right now?
Gives you a picture. No, Laurel's back at the clinic working.
What's this area? This little building here?
That's a latrine.
Okay.
There's one of your anthills.
Okay. Oh. Termite?
Termite hills.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's some fresh corn.
Yeah.
I was amazed to find out there's only 1 to 2 corn per stalk.
Yeah.
At least in the U.S. I don't know if that's different for like naturally, but that's the genetically engineered way.
I think it's the same.
Is it? Okay.
So all these are the families. This is the other campground. These are the families for the patients who are staying in here, and they just make do, and they'll sleep out here. We have the jangu, so when it's raining, they'll sleep in there. But for the most part, it's open area camping. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Temos visitas para ver o lugar. Obrigado.
Bom dia.
So this building looked like that building when the Americans left, and everything else was done by our local guys. And that's where I got a real positive impression about they can do some really good work. So all this was done with block, the walls, the walls interior, exterior, the windows, the little rebar things. They did all of that, and I think they did a great job. This will all be screened as well. This was we will have a false ceiling in here as well. We designed it so it'd be really well ventilated, but these were designed to have 4 beds. You can see there's a few more than 4. And a lot of mattresses on the floor that don't have grass mat under them.
These are adjustable.
This is a nursing station, but right now it's sleeping a couple people.
Yep.
This is
Nursing
a
like
private
in
room.
infant nursing or?
Nursing as in it'll be where the nurses work. when
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
finished. There'll be a
Okay.
sink there and
Gotcha.
a counter.
Oh,
A private room.
This is another 2-bedroom. I think these are both 2 bedrooms, or they will be eventually.
Yeah.
It's still way in process. This is for 4. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Four. And then these 2 are both for 4 as well.
Tim, who did you say, what patients are in here?
These are just normal inpatients. So I think someone told me there's about 55 now sleeping in here. And it's designed for like 20.
And all recovering, like from something.
All recovering from something. They're in the hospital because they're too sick to go home.
And will you build these walls up, or?
No, there'll be a false ceiling.
Oh,
So
of course.
we-
Okay, so that's.
We want it ventilated. Ventilation in the hot, hard to believe now, but in the hot months, ventilation is so important, and so we built it with ventilation that would be above the ceilings, and then ventilation, a lot of windows, so there'll be
Yeah.
ventilation below the ceilings as well.
Now, do you screen this for mosquitoes or?
It will be screened
Okay.
eventually, yeah, and the doors will be put up eventually. Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But this turned out also way beyond my expectations. When I saw it like that building, I thought, what's it gonna look like when it's done? And man, was I just so impressed. The lines are crisp, the cement work is done well, the plaster's done well. I was just so impressed, and gave me confidence for that one. And that one came out so well for those 3.
Yeah, it was
So that's
nice.
it.
That's
Amazing.
This is the main inpatient ward, along with that one that you saw with some beds in it. Now we use these 2 are our main inpatient
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
So I liked how you did the tour. You started out with the beginnings of what the clinic was in the beginning and then kind of worked towards the end and what the future is,
Thanks.
right? That's kind of
That
cool.
was not planned. Thank
No?
you.
I mean, that's yeah.
Thanks for noticing. Thank you. No, thanks for noticing what I didn't notice. That's great.
What's in this? Is that a
That's going
bathroom?
to be a sink.
Sink? Okay.
I don't know what it is now. It's just a space. Yeah. It's plumb. So I think this actually has a couple of areas that are plumb. No toilets. We're going to make an outdoor toilet thing in here somewhere around here somewhere.
Well, now, how would you say candy, sweet?
Bonbon.
See her eyes light up? I got a picture of that. Gave her a 3 with a lollipop. You know, it was like, what'd you find? Ooh! That's
The word for candy is bonbon.
Bonbon.
So it's easy to remember.
That just means good. Or-
Candy. Yeah, it does, but that's the slang for candy.
You can.
If you need to
In the
pee,
can,
most
you
people
can,
will
in the
duck
can.
out into the trees. Yeah. And there is a toilet up there, 'cause I have a toilet.
I know what.
That way, yeah. This was something that I never even asked them to do.
Yeah.
They thought of it and did it, so.
It's not slick.
Yeah.
And wheel a bed up.
Uh-huh.
I never even thought of it.
Yeah.
I told them to put stairs here, and they thought of doing that. So
Yeah.
it's been a great collaboration.
Uh huh.
And I think they've taken great
Pride and yeah. Uh huh.
pleasure.
I'll go.
So in a couple years, it'll be looking a lot different. So this is the building that we want. One more there and one more here parallel at least before we stop the whole project.
Parallel meaning right.
Like one will be parallel, exactly equal to this one here.
Yeah.
And then one will be behind, and I think we'll probably stop there. That's kind of a new renovated plan. Then we'll have men's, women's, peds.
So you knock down this. That'll end at the spring there.
It'll end at the box.
How would I ask what size motors?
Ah,
What CCs?
85 cc.
Okay.
Okay. I got that on video, Ken.
Quanto cc, quanto
oh, mudança.
mudança?
É 5?
Okay, so he's thinking gears. So 5 gears.
Oh,
So
what about horsepower?
I don't
Like
think they
horsepower?
would even know. I don't
Okay.
think-
What are they rated at? BTU? No.
It'd be horsepower, wouldn't it?
Well,
I don't know what
that's
they would. I think they would use CCs.
CC. Well, no, that's CC's is
Motor size.
Quanto cc? Quanto o tamanho da moto? Dentro da mata? Dentro da moto? Qual tipo moto? Alguém sabe? I would guess somewhere between 50 and 100 at the max.
And they must have to clean air filters constantly.
Oh, these guys are breaking down and fixing their bikes. They're the cheapest you can buy.
Are they from India or where would they be from? Why is it all?
Some of them, if you see the name, it'll be a real hoot because it'll be like Kiwi Siki or
Right
something.
here, Kiwi 6.
There you go. And it's supposed to be a knockoff from Kawasaki, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's
Isn't that hilarious?
That is hilarious.
Michael loves motorcycles.
Does he? Does he have
I
one?
have one.
He doesn't have one?
But when someone from our church had a really bad accident, it was
Oh.
in hospital for 8 months. He said,
Dave?
Our kids were younger. He goes, no, I need to stop.
Dave? Was it Dave you're talking about or Jake? There's like so many people. I was gonna get a motorcycle and I said, not gonna do it now because all these people I knew that's gotten these
I
accidents.
love going on. I've been riding too.
I had mine before. I had mine.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sunday afternoon.
That is hilarious.
That is.
Kawasaki.
Kawasaki.
Kawasaki. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yours? You?
No.
No.
Parece más
Yeah.
Muito bom.
It wasn't meant to be for motorcycles. And the ramp was for best, but they think the ramp is for the motorcycle.
Ah.
That makes sense. Yeah, it does.
Here we go.
Are they actually licensed? Is that a license plate or no?
It is. It is. Some of them will be. A lot of them won't be.
Oh, take care.
Nice. Yes. Nice.
In the container as pressed. The oldest container we have, if you remember that, in the back, if you walk all the way to the back, there is some sheet metal that I think could easily be fabricated to be in the back. And we have some tin snips that you can just cut it out and connect it with a screw, the right size.
Exactly.
And then
That's what we'll need.
it's just a shame I can't go there and do that.
So it's a matter of finding those things. I know you're envisioning exactly where it is.
I know. Oldest container all the way in the back.
Oldest container.
Piece of kind of sheet metal.
Okay. And then for this project, there was two totes. The totes that came with each kind of long. Both totes.
One would be over by the other.
3D printed.
Yeah, well, I better get back.
Pulsa ora.
Give Laurel a break.
En inglés. Oh, he doesn't speak Portuguese, no?
Yeah.
Either do I. Yeah. Well, I splash Felix. And I just put you be like his foot strong.
Michael's praying for Felix.
Just bless this man that he can